Hey there, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Let's Make an Art that I have slapped together using one of the time lapses I have left over from last year. I got into the habit of turning on the time-lapse recordings on Clip Studio Paint for just about any old creative experiment that I was doing. And then I exported them and didn't do anything with them. Some of them are really, really short, and some of them are long enough for me to squeeze videos like this out of. So sit down, strap in, grab a snack, and enjoy the show. All right, let's get into the video. So for this particular artwork, I was trying to do dramatic camera angles. Well, camera angles, I would say in air quotes if I could move my hands like that, but I don't have the hand tracking turned on. You know, like the up angle, right? As you can already see what angle I'm talking about. I don't know why I'm acting like that's still vague. And it ended up being a self-portrait because I am just the most familiar with my own, I guess I want to say costume designs. This is one of the outfits that my 3D model, the one you're watching right now, hello, hi. This 3D model has different outfits, and one of them is a purple crop top and a black skirt. The skirt looks shorter from this angle than it really is, I promise. There's a very small chance that YouTube will require me to censor this, but we'll see if we can get away with it. It's not, there's no nudity, so don't get too excited. It's PG-13, I would say, personally. I don't hate how it came out, though, really. I'm still trying to get my footing when it comes to line work, I guess. I'm still learning how to translate my actual skill level with physical tools into digital tools. So what ends up happening is there's certain things that I'm better at than others. Oof, I'm so glad that I adjusted those eyeballs. Digital art does let you just, highlight stuff and move it around if it looks silly. I think this is one of the few pieces that I didn't render out the line work. I've been doing a lot of art where I end up not even really keeping the line work, I'll paint over it in some places. I don't think this is one of those. I think the line work stays pretty crisp because I was trying to do that almost anime art style. Not quite anime art style because, trying to be unique, I guess? I don't know, I trailed off mentally there. I don't know, it was a fun pose. I'm not positive the anatomy is entirely correct when it comes to the shoulders and arm length. I tried. I tried. The torso's bent one way, the hips are bent the other way, and leaning back and looking down, and there's a lot of conflicting angles, so the shading and color did a lot of heavy lifting here, if I'm being so for real. I feel like that ended up making it look just so much more legit. I don't know, the line work kind of gets me. Oof, this is one of my favorite things to do. Do the shading on a grayscale thing, which I guess I could have just toned the gray chunks a little bit better, but the colors help with that. This was not my best take at this. You should still have the different sections, slightly different shades of gray as the base color. I think I relied a little too heavily on the values of the colors that I overlaid on top, which I do think I had to use an overlay layer. I don't think I was able to just use a color layer. Now I just use color layers. The individual sections of the artwork are slightly different shades of gray, so I don't have to do as much of this nonsense you see me doing on the skirt. If I had just highlighted the skirt and made it a deeper shade of gray to start with, this wouldn't be as weird. The skin could have been a much lighter shade of gray with deeper I'm like over here critiquing my work because this is, I think they did this pretty early in 2025, so this is definitely a year old at this point, but it's a fun artwork that I enjoyed doing. It's actually available in the web store at leanore.net/shop. On stickers, at least, maybe posters and t-shirts too. If you don't see it on something you want it on, just let me know. I can make that happen. Why is the shading kind of blue? I probably didn't make sure it was a true black or gray. But you see what I mean? If I had just pre-selected the shirt, made it a little darker, the skirt made it a little darker, the hair made it a little darker gray, it would have been a lot easier. I think this was one of my first experiments with really like doing the shading in grayscale and then putting the color on a color layer. As you notice, the color layer existed before I started shading. It is on the top layer. Like, I've toggled it on and off a couple of times already. It is far easier to go ahead and get these colors mapped out before you start doing the grayscale shading. Personally, I mean, to each their own, right? But that's my personal preference. And then you can come in here, use different color layers, value layers, all over the place. I think that's basically how I did the makeup for this one. I don't have makeup on the model right now, but that's okay. You don't always have to wear makeup. This is my comfy casual look. I'm a little concerned by how long the middle finger is on that one hand, but overall I'm not super upset with the hands on this one. I'm super picky with how I draw hands in general. They're a pain in the ass, and I've spent a lot of time studying them and practicing them, so I'm pretty harsh on myself when it comes to hands. Boosh, badoosh, doosh, bam. A little bit of blur for effect. Damn. That's, look. I look fantastic. The artwork definitely came out great. I'm happy with it. Again, it is available on different things in my web store, so feel free to check that out. I will drop the link in the description. And as always, let me know what you think of the artwork in the comments and what kind of content you'd like to see from me in the future. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon if you'd like to be notified when I post stuff like this in the future. Until next time, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye!